Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the pod. This is episode 8, I think, and this is the second time we're doing guests. We're on a roll with guests, and if you're watching us on YouTube, our YouTube channel, you'll see that I have a beautiful guest. I have Foxy.
Hello.
Foxy, for the people, I feel like you need no introduction, but for the people who don't know who you are, please give us just the brief, glamorous summary about who Foxy is, who Emiliya is.
Wow, do we have enough time? No. Well, currently I'm a content creator, a part of Sephora Squad as well, like you. And yeah, I'm a new mom. I have a baby that is 1 year old and trying to juggle between all of that stuff. But initially, I used to be a DJ. That's what brought me to Dubai.
Oh, really? That's how you moved?
Yes, I came here on like an artist contract.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Wow. If I may ask, like the contract was supposed to be for you to stay for like only a short amount of time?
It was like a year contract, but then I don't know, I just felt like Dubai like home. So I just wanted to move here and stay here. So we just kept going
Oh,
until I had my own business, and then I was too tired to do both things because it just doesn't really much.
yeah.
And I had out of DJing.
Oh my God. So what year did you come to Dubai?
2016.
Oh my God, Foxy, you came for a year contract and ended up like having so much more like happening. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Dubai is like with my hand on my heart, I feel Dubai as a home.
Aw. But so you are originally from Bulgaria, right, Foxy? And can I ask? I have so much questions. I feel like even as friends, I feel like you are such a hustler, and I want to talk about that a little bit. But like, you are impressive, Foxy. Like I remember when we met each other, and I was looking at we were talking to each other, the whole squad, the whole roster, and like I do this and I do this. And I remember talking to you. You were like, "Oh my goodness, like mashallah, this woman is a superhero. This woman is doing everything." But
Actually, when I met, I was not even really myself yet, because I don't know if you know, but like once a woman gives birth and becomes a mom, I mean, I thought I was prepared. I read everything on the internet, I read every book, I read everything that you can think of. But then literally your world turns 360 upside down, and yeah, it's a lot. So I kind of like lost myself. A lot of women experience that
uh,
postpartum. Then I'm on the journey to find myself again.
That's
So yeah.
amazing. I have so many questions for you about like being a mother and being a parent, and we'll get to that like in a second. But Foxy, tell me about the very, very, very beginning. You said that you were a DJ. You came to Dubai as a DJ. When did you start DJing in Bulgaria?
I started teaching in Paris. I used to live in Paris for a few years.
My God.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I had friends that were into nightlife and like events organizing and all of that jazz. So they kind of pushed me because I've always been super like into music and I know every song literally. And they were like, "Why don't you try to be a DJ? There's not back in the days that I'm talking about 2011, 2012.
Okay.
Back in there were not many, not to say none, female DJs. Like like out there. I mean, you can spot here and there or like big international names. Like I remember there was a DJ Juicy M that she was like so popular all over because I think she was like the first biggest kind of DJ. And yeah, they were like, "Why don't you try?" And I was like, "You know what? I really want to try that." And I had like kind of like I had a little bit of history of DJing before, so I already knew I was into it. And then I don't know what happened. It's just like the passion kind of grew so much that it took me international. And I mean, I'm pretty proud of my DJ journey for sure.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So you got so good that I can only assume that after your first gig or your first few gigs, was it like a super positive reaction? Were people trying to like book you as soon as like you started? Was that the case?
Yeah, it actually really it went like I remember actually doing the makeup course in Paris. That was the reason why I moved to Paris. Literally, the course took like 2 or 3 months, and by the time I finished the course, that's why I couldn't really like focus on makeup up until quarantine. But yeah, like it just life happened. Like literally the DJing thing went very like quickly, escalated pretty quickly. So I kind of pushed the makeup aside. I was like, okay, this feels more like me at that moment of my life, you know. So yeah, the it was pretty crazy, to be honest. I mean, I've really DJed pretty much all over the world, I would say. And I won Best DJ award back in my country.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It
That
was
was
pretty good.
that was amazing. So then you get I'm assuming you get a call or an email or something from someone that says, "Hey, how do you feel about moving to Dubai?" What was your initial reaction when you were like, I might be living in Dubai. I might go to Dubai for like a year? Because I feel like the DJ scene or like the nightlife scene in like Paris or Europe or other parts of the world and like the nightlife scene in Middle East totally different. So what were you thinking when you like got that call?
The thing is, I came twice to Dubai before I moved here
Okay.
to visit friends of mine. So while I was here, I don't know, like people just kind of, Instagram back in the days used to work very kind of like, yeah. So people kind of like started slipping into my DMs. And there was these people that work in nightlife and they were like, oh, you're a DJ, you're currently here. Like, can you mix on that day, blah, blah, blah. But then I was just for a holiday for like 10 days or something. And then I don't really remember. I got, they were like, okay, so how about moving here? And I'm like, okay, that was like probably May. So I had like a very big kind of like gigs during the summer, because summer in Bulgaria is like I mean, it's an amazing summer. It's like perfect weather, like nightlife is all like people are taking off during summertime. So it's like really the peak of nightlife, I would say. And I was pretty much already booked for the whole summer. So I was like, you know what? Okay, I can come, but like in September, if you can wait. And they were like, yeah, perfect. So I was like, okay, that felt like too easy, kind of. But then it happened. I didn't really believe it in the beginning. I was like, there should be some catch. Well, there was a catch after I moved here. Long story.
Okay. But I can only imagine like the feeling, Foxy, when you like when you came here or like wherever you were in the world when you started doing something that you really love and not only are you good at it and other people are liking it but you're getting booked and you're getting busy and you're like you suddenly find yourself. I was talking to about the same exact thing with Shabby and she was like
Yeah,
it's so crazy when you not only go to another country and you go there for work. Obviously you go to do
yeah.
what you want to do. You're doing what you love and you're doing it very well and people love it and you're getting paid and you're busy. It's like a 180 degree of what your life used to be. It's crazy.
There is no greater feeling, to be honest. Like it really, you feel so accomplished. Like you get to travel the world, you get to see so many different cultures, you get and make money from that. I mean, doing what you love, that's like the best thing, making a living out of what you're doing.
Okay, so now Foxy moved to Dubai. How did it
Yeah.
feel when you like I know you said that you visited, but how did it feel when you like planted like your roots, like your feet were firmly on the ground and like I'm gonna be here for a year? How does that feel? Were you excited, nervous? I'm sure you were already kind of familiar with like the culture and whatnot. So please, like, what was going through your head?
No, I just didn't really know where I am. I was so excited. I was like overwhelmed. I was feeling, wow, like this is really happening. Because, in Bulgaria, Dubai is pretty popular. So, like, it was kind of, and I actually love the Dubai nightlife. You said that it's pretty different, but I think it's a pretty different in a good way.
Okay.
There is also, of course, like pros and cons. Like the only con here is that I felt like the music that we had to play if we wanted the crowd to be happy, it's like pretty commercial compared to back home, for example. Because
Mainstream.
like, yeah, back home people are more into like, not so famous music, and like they want the DJ to surprise them with something that's, something new, something hot. While here you try to play something that not a lot of people know, and then everyone is like, yeah.
That is so sweet. And Foxy, that was in 2016. This is 7 years later, and you are married and have a baby, and you're living in Dubai. So, how did you meet your husband?
Well, that's a funny story. So I met my husband on the first day I moved to Dubai. Actually, to begin with, I moved to Abu Dhabi. It was not Dubai. Like the first like few years I spent in Abu Dhabi, but I was like DJing in Abu Dhabi and Dubai. But like my base was Abu Dhabi, and my husband is born and raised there.
Oh, okay.
And his brother is a DJ. So his brother and I were supposed to be resident DJs in the same club, so colleagues. So once he knew about that, he followed me on Instagram. I followed him back, and we like spoke, like very like friendly, colleague wise. We were like, he was saying Abu Dhabi, wait, it's waiting for you. We are so excited to have you here. And yeah, I only saw him on Instagram from his photos, right? But yeah, that's the catch. I mean, they really look alike. So
Oh,
we went out on our first day in Abu Dhabi. So I see in the crowd like familiar face, and I'm like, I'm so excited to see someone that I know, because obviously I'm in a whole new place, in a whole new country, on a whole new continent. So I was like literally like run to him, and I was like, hey, how are you? I'm here. And he was just looking at me. That's his brother, not yeah, so my husband, aka. And he's just looking at me like, do I know this girl? But he was literally standing there looking at me for like maybe a whole minute, and I was like, what's going on? Like, it was like an awkward silence. And then I guess it happened a few times already to him that people mistaken him. So he realized that I had the wrong guy, and he was just and pointing to his brother that he was next to him. So yeah, I was pretty ashamed.
no.
uh, it was an awkward moment. I'm an awkward person in general. It was pretty awkward moment, but then I mean we just hit it off. We started talking, and I don't know. I don't even remember how this happened, because it was kind of, yeah. You know how DJs here, they all get like a promote type of table in the clubs, right? So you have like a complimentary table, blah blah. So me as a DJ who's gonna play there, like I was always on that table. And my husband, as the brother of the DJ, he was always on that table as well. So like we were there, and we were like started talking, right? Like I mean, I'm a colleague of his brother, and it was in the beginning it was pretty friendly, because he was still kind of going out of his previous relationship. So like the moment I knew he has something, I'm like, I switch off. I don't look the person that way, right? I mean,
Okay.
I
Okay.
yeah. So it was pretty friendly. I even remember one night he was asking me of ways how he can get to propose to her and stuff like that. It was very kind of like, yeah. I mean, he was trying to save the relationship, because the relationship was like, going downhill, and he thought that this might save it, which is like, I still make fun of him until today, but but yeah, I mean, it was pretty weird, to be honest. But then I don't know what happened. We just kind of hit it off. In the vibe changed at some point. We really like spoke longer time. We got to know each other, and we saw, coming out. Both of us. I had a bad experience prior him as well. So both of us
Oh.
coming out of that relationship, and then finding people who have morals and values, and like they're good people. Then of course we were like, you know what, let's stick together.
That's amazing. And how long have you guys been married? Married?
Well, married for 4 years now.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Together 8 almost.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So, Foxy, is baby A COVID baby? You were pregnant during COVID.
No. I was pregnant last 2000. Yeah, I mean,
21. 21. No, I'm
time
sorry.
not the factor anymore. Like once you become a mom, it's like, which day are we even? I don't know. But no, I became mom last year June. So I was, yeah. It was not a COVID baby. It was like already like, honestly, like huge big up for all the moms that went through that in COVID, because it was like they were in labor room by themselves. They're like, yeah, because
Oh,
like the father is there, and it was, I've seen a lot of like YouTube vlogs and stuff of moms that went through that in quarantine, and it's like, it's really sad. Like the
oh,
father cannot go to the scans, for example, in the pregnancy, and yeah, it's pretty tough. And then
oh.
like birth with a mask, and I don't know how they did that really.
That is insane. That is intense.
Yeah.
I have had the pleasure of meeting baby A, and he is one of the cutest babies I've ever seen. If you are watching, you need to go follow Foxy on Instagram if you all don't already do, and you need to check out that cute, adorable baby. Like, mashallah, gorgeous, gorgeous baby, Foxy,
Thank
gorgeous baby.
you.
Did you
He really is. He's mine, but I'm like, yeah, he is.
were you kind of hoping for him to look like you? Were you like, I hope he looks like me. I hope he has my eyes. I hope he has my hair or something.
I was saying that I hope he has my eyes because obviously light eyes, like everyone wants light eyes. But then I was like, no way that like light eyes gonna like fight and like win over the brown eyes, right? I mean, the gene is so much stronger. It's very like rare kind of. And then in the same time, like my husband's family have such a strong gene. They all look alikes, really like, yeah, I swear they're like clonings. So I was like, there is no chance that that baby is gonna look anything like me. And then when he came out, and I was like, oh my god, this is like a mini me. What happened? How did we have do this? Also, I think Arab genes are so much stronger than European. I feel like everything's leading, to that baby not looking anything like me. But then he came out like a literal copy of me.
Oh, you are so lucky. I've heard so many really funny stories. Obviously, they're just joking, and as long as they have like a happy, healthy baby, that's all they like care about. But I heard a lot of really funny stories on TikTok of women being like so in love with their husbands and they have the most beautiful, happy, healthy marriage. But if that baby comes out and looks more like the dad more than me, then I'm gonna give like a little bit of an attitude. And it's so funny. So you're lucky because I think they say that girls actually are born and they look more like their dads. The girl, if
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, they do. They actually do really like all my friends that are moms, like if they have boys, they're literal copies of their moms, and girls are copies of their dad. And in very rare cases, the vice versa.
okay, so Foxy, this is a really cool segue because I think this is one of the reasons I wanted to have you on my podcast. I feel like the idea of having children is terrifying, and I can only imagine what it's like to be like as a woman, as a mother. So I guess my first question is, did you always know that you wanted to be a mom? Did you always have that instinct?
Yeah, I always wanted to be a mom. I really always wanted to be. I remember like all my play dates when I was a kid was like me and a doll and a like pretend stroller and like
That's so cute.
then play a mom. I mean, yeah, I've always wanted. I know I have a lot of friends that they don't have that. They just don't want kids, or they don't want to. They just want to focus on themselves. They don't want to have, because yeah, really, when you have a kid, it's like it's so hard to think about yourself. It's really hard. Like right now, I'm at the stage that I'm pushing myself to do so because I understand that he's gonna be so much happier if I'm happy as well. I can't just I'm not just a mom. I mean, I have so much more layers to me that I want to express. And I don't want to just, because I was beginning to lose myself into motherhood big
Oh,
time.
oh.
And I mean, I think a lot of women face that, but it's really important to pick yourself, like to just, find the power and the strength within yourself to actually take care of yourself, because you can't pour from an empty cup. I mean,
Of
however
course.
it sounds, it's really so true.
Of course, of course. And I can only imagine like the days where you just want to take a break, the days because you do so much, Foxy. Like for people who are listening, Foxy does so much. She has a business. I think you stopped DJing, but at some point you were doing that full time. She's a content creator. She is on like so many beauty profiles pages. And I feel like on days where you just want to go home and you just want to unplug from the universe, you have a baby that's going
Yeah.
mama and waiting like for you to like pick him up or just like sit next to him or just look at him. Like it's just I can only imagine. And I also noticed, Foxy, that I've seen your pictures before pregnancy and during and after, and you look stunning every stage of the way, if I do say so myself. But it is I don't mean this in a negative way, but I can see how much like carrying a child really takes a toll on a woman's body. I mean, I remember when my mother was pregnant with my youngest brother, and she went through a lot. She went through a lot. She went through, and you mentioned that you went through postpartum. Are you comfortable sharing about that?
Yeah, of course. I didn't have postpartum depression, but I did have postpartum anxiety really bad. Like, the thing is, I always thought that none of that can happen to me because I can I pretty much can say that I'm a very like strong-minded person. Like I have like I mindfully work on myself every day. I'm very like self-aware, self-development oriented, and like I really thought I have everything under control, right? But I guess that's like the universe telling me, oh, you thought you got this? Yeah, let me give you that challenge, you know? So you were like, ground yourself a little. But yeah, I did go through very, very bad postpartum anxiety to the point where even when someone other than me and my husband touches Alex or holds Alex, I felt so sick to my stomach. Like I can't even explain it. It's like I had to leave the room. Like if my mother-in-law, for example, is there and wants to hold him, I had to leave the room so I don't look, because really it made me so sick. Like I was gonna throw up. Like just from how worried I am that maybe like, you know, something will happen, or like she'll not unintentionally, obviously, but like she will harm him way or any of that. Or like we have a baby monitor on the bed, right? And like we had a next to me crib, which means like I'm sleeping and he's literally next to me in his own crib, but next to the bed. So like I can even hear him breathing and anything. But then and we have the baby monitor, and then I'll be staying awake all night and just looking at the camera on my phone all of the night. Like it's just like a lot. I mean, even though he's next to me, I can hear him, I can see him and everything. I would sleep with my phone open on the camera every night and just like watch, you know, to make sure that he's okay.
Oh wow.
Like it's a lot. I mean, it was a lot, but the thing is also I was not aware that so many babies have like colic and reflux, like digestive system problems when they're born. I thought it's like something rare that it happens, yeah, but it's not that, you know, common. But apparently like almost 2 of every 3 babies have them, and I didn't know that, which made me feel like I'm so helpless, because this is really something that nothing helps. Like nothing you try that they say there is like any kind of like treatment or like some hacks and tips that help. Nothing really helped. So for a woman like me that feels like I really believe in my capability, I really feel like anything I put my mind and like my attention to, I can do like anything, like literally. And then in that moment, feeling so helpless when all you care about is like this human being that you love so much and beyond, and like you can't even express. You want to help your baby, you're a mom, and you can't. You feel helpless. It makes you feel like the worst and the biggest failure. It's like it's really, it was a really like, yeah, like the first kind of like 3 months were really tough. Then after that it was like good days, bad days, ups and downs, up until his 6th month, let's say. And then once we started solids and his reflex kind of went away and calmed down, and then he was back to being happy, because you know these 2 things make your baby cry most of the time. So you're like you feel like you're a failure because you are his mom and you can't even soothe him, you know. And the thing is, now I understand things differently. Like for all the moms that are moms to be, like I want to give that advice, you know, like just try to enjoy your time, because them crying doesn't necessarily mean that they're in so much pain, like some kind of, you know, because that's what I felt like, that he's, oh my god, he's so much in pain. This is their way of communication. I mean, they can't talk, they can't complain. So this is kind of like they communicate that there is something going on that they feel for first time, or there's some sensation that they cannot explain. They're scared, they don't know what's happening.
Of course.
Don't try to not overthink, and try to like just be patient and enjoy these early months, because it's a lot.
And when
But
you
it's really great. I mean, all of these things you forget, and these things teach you so much. Like I feel like I'm a different person. Like everything is so much clearer. I can say it, clearer now. Everything about life, everything about what I want from life, everything about, I don't know, it's just like they say that once you become a mom, everything just becomes clear. And it really does.
That is beautiful. That is beautiful. And oh my God, Foxy, I met you on the show after 3 months after you gave birth.
Yeah.
3 months.
A little bit after my peak of the anxiety, but I was still, I mean, you remember, I was hashtag the cry baby of the season. I was literally crying stop. I mean, every day, like not non-stop, but like every day, almost all day. I was so sad that I'm away, but then in the same time, I was there to, follow my dream and work on my dream. So it was like such a such a battle in my head and in my
It,
heart.
it must have been so intense. It must have been so intense. Foxy, I think one of the first things that I noticed about you, and I think I talked about it with my mom after like we left the show and we each went back home. I'm like, she was like, okay, so what, like, how was it? Tell me about the people you met. Tell me about like this person and that person. And I was talking about you, and I said, Foxy is the person that was on this earth to just be a powerhouse. Foxy is someone who is just here to hustle. I know that a lot of the stories that you tell, it's like, no, 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 please. If you cry, you're gonna make me cry. No, but seriously, I feel like Foxy, a lot of the language that you use in your stories and how you talk about your experiences with DJing and your business and your relationship and motherhood, there's so much humility. There's so much humility in your language, in your vocabulary, and how you speak. And then I'm looking at you, I'm like, this is a titan of a person. And it's just like, the reason I wanted to talk about this is I used to be in such a huge bubble ever since I was a small child. I was that kid that was in a bubble, observing the world happening around myself, and I was just like, just so not scared, but just so intrigued in a very cautious way. So when you hear this, I hear the stories about you going to like Paris and Europe and then moving to Dubai for a year, and then you met a man that you fell in love with, and then you have a child. That speaks to my inner child and says it teaches me to not be so afraid, because I would be terrified, Foxy, if I had to do just one of the things that you have to deal with on a daily basis. I would be terrified. And other than that, I can't imagine, because I think this is something you would have a lot to say about, but the criticism that mommy content creators get on social media is on a whole other level of just ew.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, but I to say something on what you said, because really it touched my heart, and it touched me so much because like I actually have the biggest insecurity. You mentioned that the way I speak and my vocabulary even, I can't even say it. I have a big insecurity when it comes to my English, and that's why I actually don't do a lot of talking videos, even though I really want to, because I feel like I do have a personality that I want to kind of show through, but I just have my limiting beliefs in my own head about this. Like I feel like my accent is bad, and like I can't express myself good enough as I could, and as I can, I feel all of these feelings and emotions, and I have so much stories to say, but then I'm like, I put my own kind of like limits in my head. And this is something that I can't even believe that you are saying these things about me, because like, for example, your English is so good and so great. Every time I'm like super admiring you, I'm like, see,
Aw.
like like you have this, some people just know how to speak, and a very I don't know the word in English again.
Seamless.
Yeah, like it just feels so natural for you,
Oh.
and me, when I have to talk, most of the times I stutter, I switch words, and like it's awkward. I mean, I'm an awkward person. But yeah, I mean, this thing is kind of like stopping me from fully expressing myself. And when you invited me to your podcast, I was actually really excited. I'm still am. Uh, but just because, I'm like, oh my God, yeah, I want to talk. But, in the same time, I'm like, oh my God, my English, how many takes we have to do? Yeah, it's crazy. But thank you so much for saying this, because even person as yourself, that it comes so naturally for you. If you really think that means that it's only literally my limits that I set myself in my head,
All of
and I
us.
need to just like drop them.
All of us. You know why? Because like I remember when we first got met in Dubai. I remember I went to sleep thinking one day, at that time, like a year and a half ago or a year and a few months ago, I decided to wake up and start filming myself and posting on TikTok. And now I'm on a brand trip with the biggest like beauty retailer in the Middle East, and I'm with you and Shabi and Omar, and I met all these amazing people. So that's why I wanted to talk about it, because I feel like comparing, it's not a comparing thing. It's just like it takes so much for me to do something or to pursue something because of that fear. So when I see someone like you who's doing so many things, it's just like work, work, work. I'm like, I need to step it up. I need to step it up. This woman, I need to learn from this woman. So yeah.
The thing is, I've always been going for like feel the fear, but do it anyways. Like when I feel scared, I honestly feel like I'm I'm weak and I don't like that feeling. Like I know I'm a strong woman. I'm all about empowering and I know I'm a strong person. I know like I'm strong in my head. I'm strong even in my body. Even though I'm a big girl, I've always been really strong. Like I know I'm strong. And then a fear or letting fear like win over me automatically makes me feel like so weak, like so helpless. And you need to understand that the responsibility for everything that happens in your life is completely and solely to you. You have the control. You have the control over your thoughts. That's for all of you out there overthinkers like me, because I let
Me too.
oh yeah, really, so many times I just let my mind run me instead of me running it. And you have the control. You can work on that and you can be better. You can take the gain the control over your life in fully, over your emotions, your mind, your actions, and your life completely. You just have to work on that because it's not something that is just given. It's probably the hardest thing in the world, and they should have taught us that in school instead of like all the pointless stuff. But yeah, that is not gonna make anyone favor, right?
Of course. And you're so right. When you're scared, it's that I totally get that feeling of like being scared and feeling weak, and you just feeling the need to get rid of this weakness because you feel so just you feel like you're tied up, and it irks you like internally. You just want to get rid of it. But Foxy, I want to segue into, you said you are a strong woman, and I totally, ever since day one, I saw that, and everyone saw that that has ever met you. But where did you get this strength? How did you learn to be like this? Because I think for a while, maybe because I was a bit naive, but I think at some point a few years ago when I was a bit younger, I thought that being strong meant that you had to let go of certain good things about your personality. So I grew up around a lot of people who were strong, like quote unquote strong, but they were very mean and very negative. But when I look at you, Foxy, and when I like interact with you and I see how you engage with others and interact, it's like this is the sweetest person ever. So did you ever have to go that through that journey of like strength means I'm cold-hearted, but now no, did you ever have to learn that on your own, or were you like always from the get-go like no, strength is kindness? Well, how did you learn that?
I wish I wish I have a little bit of that in me, but like every time I try to bring it on, it's like it just doesn't feel natural and it's just not me. I mean, I've always believed in karma. I've always believed in that whatever you give, you're gonna receive. And even though I don't do it with the intention to receive, it's like unconditional. Because if you do it with the intention to receive, then it's like chasing an interest. It's not
Yeah,
really
yeah,
not genuine.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I don't know. Like for sure, it has to do a lot with my mother. Um, she raised me by herself. I mean, my parents are divorced, and
Okay.
my dad not really involved because she never really required anything from him. She didn't want to fight with him, so she doesn't ruin the relationship between me and him because of her. So she
Oh,
kind of like let him, go with the flow. But with some men, they don't have that father instinct naturally. I mean, I love my dad, by the way.
of
We're
course.
really, yeah, and we're really close nowadays and everything. But just growing up, um he maybe finds it awkward to communicate with like a younger person. He doesn't know how to do that. It just doesn't come natural. The more I grew old, like the more our relationship actually got better, that we can communicate and we can speak and have a conversation clearly. But yeah, my mom, she's always, I mean, I'm like her pretty much. but she always says that I'm like the improved version at the update. But the thing is, it depends also how. The thing is, my mom had her share of mistakes, right? And everyone does. Uh, but somehow I did choose to learn from them, even though they were not my own mistakes, which is like kind of weird because people don't usually do that. I mean, until you make your own mistake. I mean, I've made my own mistake that are different from my mom's, but the ones that my mom's made, it's clearly like I don't know. It's a clear indication for me that I should do it otherwise,
Of course,
right? I
yeah,
should
yeah.
So yeah, my mom has always been my hero. Like she's always been entrepreneur as well, like freelance kind of woman. Yes, like she only had one job for like corporate job in her life,
Okay.
and she raised me by herself. She was the one taking care solely for the whole family, like financially, and not only obviously. But yeah, she's a hustler. Definitely, this word like fits her so much, like hustler. So I don't know. I'm sure it had a lot to do with her. I mean,
I mean,
for sure.
shout out to what's your mother's name?
Ekaterina.
Ekaterina. Shout out to
Yeah,
Ekaterina. You raised one powerhouse of an amazing woman.
thank you. You're really like always when I talk to you, you're so kind as well. And I admire you so much. I remember being on that stage of Sephora Squad and just looking down at you, and I'm like, there is no way. There is no way. This guy deserves it more than anyone there. Like there is no way. And you know when they brought you, I swear we all screamed so much. We like shouted so much. Like you are just like you deserve everything that's happening to you and even more. And I'm sure that like just from the moment I saw you and the way you talk, the way how passionate you are for what you do, it's like
Oh,
it's a see the thing is like passion and consistency, it's a key for success. There is not even one successful person who has zero passion or zero consistency. Like consistency is not like it's not like doesn't grant sorry.
no, it's okay.
Consistency doesn't grant you success, but inconsistency definitely like removes any success possible, you know.
Of course, of course. And I feel like when at that point when I got on like the show and we started filming the show, I feel like okay, I need to like I was already taking it seriously and doing it full time. I started doing content when I was in school, when I still had like a year and a half left of like university. and
Oh,
and after school I like started working, and like all through those stages I was like creating content. I was trying to push like 2 3 maybe 4 videos a day. So but when I saw you like you guys and what you were doing, I think the number one thing that I learned from you guys is it has to be like, if you want to take content creating seriously and you want to be an influencer or you want to like build a platform, consistency is really important. But I think what I learned for me is you have to find certain opportunities where this could be content. This could be content. If you go to the supermarket, if you go to, I don't know, IKEA, everything has to be considered as content, you know? You have to be thinking about it day to day. It's a no hour limit type of job. It's not a 9 to 5, it's an everyday. So
yeah.
yeah, and I would see you guys like we would go and see like a really pretty view or like the swing set like near the Sephora house, and you'd be like, "Oh, this is content." I'm like, "Wow, these people are like impressive. Everything is content." For me, I was very narrow-minded. But before I met you guys, I was very narrow-minded. I was like, okay, I have a plan. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna sit at my desk and I'm gonna like adjust the lighting, and I'm gonna like film 3 videos because I wrote this down and I filmed this and I planned this. So that was it. So I learned to be more lenient and just like broaden my horizons more. So that was really cool.
I don't you didn't give me an impression that you were narrow like that, to be honest. I don't know. I mean, I feel like you just I mean, everyone needs time to grow, in whatever they're doing, So the more time you spend on that, of course, the more like your work is going to improve. If it doesn't improve, then maybe it's not the thing for you, you know?
Yeah. Okay, Foxy, you started something on your social media, I think a few days ago or a week and a half ago, called The Love Project. Can you please tell us about your exciting project?
Yeah, it's called the Self-Love Project.
Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. That's horrible.
It's okay. It's okay. It's still about love. I mean, it is a love project. but it's the most important love project in your life. It's like your self-love project. Uh, well, pretty much this rough kind of journey from becoming a mom and feeling all that feels that I already shared with you. And then kind of losing myself to a very big point. Also, of course, you said that it impacts your body, it impacts your like everything, literally everything. Your life turns upside down 360. And it's kind of like inevitable to have like to hit you on your self-esteem, on your self-confidence, on your all on your self-love for sure. So I decided that since I'm already on that journey for the past few months, I decided that I would much rather actually if I have people join me. And you know, it's always so much like more empowering when you're a group. Like you feel so much more, you have more accountability, you feel supported, you feel not alone in this thing. So I decided that I'm going to start a challenge, and I'm working on it right now. I spent a lot of nights actually studying, like studying the psychological side of self-love more than the actual like superficial side, if there's something like that. But the psychological side, where it comes to even setting up your boundaries, right? Not stop being people pleaser. Like a lot of these things that I just now realized that are affecting my whole life so much, and not only my whole life, but they come from a place that I'm insecure, from a place that I don't love myself enough. And that's why, because you don't love yourself enough, for example, you want to impress people with your like, that's why you're a people pleaser, you know, because you don't think there is any other way that you're scared that if you say no when you want to say no but you say yes, you know, it's like people will like you more. But then if you say no, people will not like you, they will
Yeah.
have problem with you, you know. And the same thing for setting up your boundaries, and like healthy boundaries, and like you're scared that people won't respect them. But if people don't respect your healthy boundaries, then they don't respect you, and then you really don't need those people around you anyways. But yeah, I mean, it's a very like kind of like special for me right now, because um I really felt broken at some point recently. So I'm just starting to build myself up. I'm starting to build my self-esteem, my confidence, my self-love, and all of these things that I really like. I had them once. I had them exactly before I moved to UAE actually, and I was like in my peak of my life, I would say, when it comes to myself. I felt so good with myself. I felt like so happy with everything I was doing. And yeah, I kind of lost it in the past few years. And after becoming a mom, which is even obviously even more, and it affects you so heavily. It's a great thing. I mean, I'm ready to empower other people. I'm ready to share that journey with other people, and I'm super looking forward. Like literally spending all my free time on studying and setting up a plan for the challenge. It's gonna be very fun, but in the same time, for sure, really helpful for a lot of people.
So have you started your first like round of challenges with people, and are you seeing like a lot of really cool engagement?
And I'm starting on the 15th of September. I
Oh,
wanted to
okay.
wait until everybody's back to Dubai, because a lot of my people are traveling all this time. But yeah, I wanted to take more time to really prepare,
Okay.
because I don't want to. I mean, I am pretty prepared, and I've been working on my self love for as long as I know, because I grew up in a very insecure childhood. Like I had
Yeah.
really problem with bullying and stuff like that. So after that, once I became more aware of what's going on in my head, yeah, I directly started working on that. But still, I want to be educated enough about it so I can really help people with different type of issues, with different type of like, you know, backgrounds and everything.
That's amazing. And I feel like this is something that a lot of people can benefit from, because I think we've all been there where we try to people please, or we don't know how to say no, or we want to set boundaries because someone says or does something that just makes your skin crawl, but you just don't know how, and you don't have like the tools or the language. So I think that's really cool. I think you're gonna get like I'm foreseeing it having like a cult following, the self-love project. I'm
Yeah.
expecting huge success from it.
Oh, thank you so much. I really like, to be honest, you know, part of finding to be honest, part of finding yourself back after being like torn into pieces
Mhm.
is like, it's actually finding also thinking about what your purpose is. Like really. Like I don't know, this has been like bothering me for the past maybe like 2 years,
Mhm.
that I feel like I love makeup, I love beauty, I love my community that I built on Instagram. And actually you spoke about like the mom hate, how moms get hate. I I didn't get any. I swear to God. Like
Really?
I don't have haters. I have haters on TikTok, like random people commenting that they don't know me, I don't know them, you know. But the people like on Instagram, I was able to like build my own community where we really, to be honest, during like my hardest time, if my community was not there for me, I might went insane for sure. But like I feel like I don't know. I just feel like I make other people feel not alone, and they make me feel like I'm not alone. It's just a really amazing community full only with acceptance and support. You know, I really never had on Instagram in my account. I've never had any bad talk, any hate comments, any of that stuff. Only pure love and support. So I was always thinking now, like I want to find my purpose. I love beauty and makeup, and I love this, but I feel like what makes me the most happy, making people, like helping people, like in any way. Like that's why with my business with Keto by Foxy, I was so passionate about it, because I helped so many people achieve their goals on their diet, or they were on keto because of their health issues. And like there was people that reversed diabetes because of keto. Like all of these people, I know they relied on my brand, because we were the only one in UAE when we started. So like this made me like made my drive so much like huge, you know, because I knew I help people. So now thinking about my purpose, I'm like, the thing that makes me happiest is just helping people. And what way I can help them, like I'm helping them with makeup tutorial. I don't want to like under you know,
Underestimate?
underestimate this, of course no. But I just feel like, I mean, I feel like I influence people in other ways more than with my makeup,
Of
and
course.
and I feel like I want to focus on that. I want to. I'm asking myself, what type of comments do I get on my social media? Like what type of like feedback I get from my following, from my community? And they always used to say, like so many times, everyone would say like, I love the way you carry yourself. I love how strong you are. I love how like confident you are. I love, you know, like comments on like my self love and the way I carry myself. So I'm like, okay, maybe if I inspire people that way, maybe I should focus on helping them more, that they can also inspire themselves with themselves as well, you know, by self love.
Of course. Foxy, that's amazing.
So yeah, it's been a journey, and I really hope, like, the my biggest drive right now is just helping people in any way I can, and I feel like this is my way. I feel like this is what my purpose is.
That is so beautiful. I totally agree with you. I feel like for anyone, if you could help others with anything in any capacity, it always feels so fulfilling. But when you're doing what you love and something that you have so much experience in, and you're utilizing that to help others, it's just a different level of fulfillment, and it's crazy in a good way.
Yeah. You asked me how do I fight my fears, and how do I find the strength, right, to do
Yeah.
this thing. You know how? Like there's two things. One is confidence, and one is self-confidence. These are two different things. Like self-confidence and self-esteem comes into like, you're confident just because you are. I mean, you just feel confident. You just feel confident in yourself, in the way you look. This is self-love. It comes from self-love. Confidence in general, it's based on your life experience. For example, I lack in my self-esteem, my self-confidence, but I do have the confidence because I proved myself millions of times that I'm capable. That I've achieved my dreams so many times. I've done, and every success of mine, or everything that I've proved myself that I'm capable, like makes my confidence grow, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like based on the confidence, you don't have fear anymore about these things, you know, because you already proved to yourself that you're capable, that you're like, once you put your mind into something, you're doing it. Like you are consistent, you just pursue it and it happens, you know, if you're dedicated enough. But the self-confidence and the self-esteem, this is all your doubts, that like all your limiting beliefs, that, for example, my limiting belief that, oh, I'm not going to do talking videos because my English suck, and then I'm going to stutter, and then I have to retake it a million times because I'm
Yeah.
super awkward, and always ends up like
Yeah.
super process and everything, you know. But no, maybe the more I do it, the easier it will get as well, you know,
Of course.
always.
Of course.
And like these are like the self-love and the self-confidence, the self-esteem, this is something that is within, like you have to work within, like, and you work on a psychological level as well as the physical level, like super, like one thing that is going to be in the challenge, for example, is very like awkward, and it probably feels super natural and super uncomfortable at first, but like just look at yourself naked in the mirror for 5 minutes, like don't stop, you know. I'm sure
Yeah.
it a lot of people just can't, like, you can't look at yourself. Why? Because you like don't like what you
Because
see,
you
so
don't
you
like
like,
what you see. Yeah.
you're uncomfortable, you just like look and you're like no, and you just move your eyes away, and like
Yeah.
however but the growth always happens where it's uncomfortable. It never happens where you're comfortable, you know. Always.
Always, always. And Foxy, you mentioned in your in the like a few seconds ago, you mentioned your business, Keto by Foxy, which is one of, I think, one of the first like keto food meal subscription services in UAE. And you
Yeah,
mentioned,
it started as desserts, but then it kind of grew the empire, the keto empire.
oh, it started as desserts. You were only doing desserts.
Yeah, well, to be honest, Keto by Foxy started as a blog page that I used to share keto recipes for like the UAE community.
Mm.
And back in the days, we were like, nobody knew in UAE what's keto. So I was, I had this hard mission to go around and tell, you know, when you're passionate about something, you just discovered something new that is like, oh my God, it's like, it's helping with so many health issues, and it can help you, it can reverse diabetes, it can make you lose so much weight. So I just kept going around all my friends and people that I know, and I just like lecture them about keto every time, you know. So I took on the mission to like educate people about keto, and of course, in the same time, it also like kind of built on its own, like all the noise about it, and it became a trend at some point. But yeah, I was the first one to ever start like a keto dessert business, and it only started because I baked cake for my husband and I's anniversary, and I
Aw.
posted it on Instagram. Everyone started, oh my God, no way, I miss cake so much, please can you make one for me?
By the way, I have tried Foxy's desserts. They are unbelievably delicious. They are so yummy and so tasty. Like what this that is magic. You work your magic with it. The fact that it's so delicious, it's so good, and it feels like just any other dessert yet that you would buy at like a bakery or a supermarket, but it's keto. There's no there's no carbs. That is
No
just
sugar.
insane, and no sugar. That is insane to me. Insane to me. So yeah.
That was my mission. I don't like, you know, I love food, obviously. Uh,
No.
life. Food is life. So I don't want it to taste like something that is, you know, healthy. I mean, because I don't necessarily love like the healthy taste of desserts, especially, you know. I mean, yeah, healthy like meal, healthy salad, of course, it's nice, you know, but a dessert healthy most of the time it's like either the texture is wrong or the aftertaste or there is just something off, you know.
Healthy dessert to me is fruit. That's
Yeah,
it.
exactly. So my mission was like to make everything, like to cutify everything, like to taste indulgent, to taste like, you know, the real thing, but it just to be like undercover, you know, how to deserve.
Of course, of course. And Foxy, one more thing I wanted to ask you for any content creator who wants to start a business or is trying to scale a business. They have the idea, they have the resources, they have the strategy. What is your 2 cents on some of the do's and don'ts for someone who has a platform or wants to build a platform along with like a business, their own business? So what can you say about that?
I'll speak from my own perspective and from my own experience.
Okay.
Basically, my brand, I was the face of my brand. So when it's personal, when there is a person behind the brand, it feels much more intimate. It feels much more transparent. It feels like this person is a real person, you know. They make this business, they put all this effort, they have this passion, you know. It feels like you're supporting someone, opposed to like giving your money to someone, you know.
Yes.
Completely different feeling. And if you can be as transparent as possible, if you can be personal about it, I'm sure, and I guarantee you that it's going to be more successful than just, you know, you might have the best branding, the best like Instagram, the best feed with the best like videographers, professional photographers, but this doesn't have soul. Like a lot of people want to see an actual, like people engage so much better with actual person than with the business. I mean, you don't text McDonald's, oh, how are you doing today? You know, obviously, you know, but like people used to text me like, hey Foxy, how are you? You know,
Yes. Yeah.
it's like the genuine relationship between you and the customers. And when the customers see that you actually care for them, which I did and I still do, like it's completely different. It's life changing, because like for both of you appreciate each other and have value for each other one way or another. You know, it's not just a consumer thing. It's an actual relationship, you
It's a
know.
relationship. Yeah.
And of course, social media is such a powerhouse. Like the more active you are, the more even like behind the scenes look you give for your business, the more relatable you are, the more like intimate again, the more personal. This is what helped me a lot. Like I was like just me. It was not really a brand, but it was like me, the baker, you know. So really, and I'll be posting like all of the time when I'm baking. I would ask people to like, for example, all of our businesses after that. I mean, we have Keto by Foxy, then we opened Keto Fix, which is like keto burgers and pizzas. Then we opened Better Keto, which is like Arabic keto food.
Oh
Then we
wow.
opened, yeah, then we opened our meal plans. But all of these ideas was because I posted, for example, a poll box, you know, on Instagram, and I asked them, what would you like to for us to ketify? You know, what would you like for us to do for you? Like
Yeah.
this is I'm here to literally serve you, because my goal is to help you. So what would help your journey even more and further? What is gonna make your life easier? Let me know. I mean, I'm open to suggestions, you know. So it literally happened because people were like, I'm craving burger and pizza, I can't have it. Or like I'm sick of, because like you do, for example, a cauliflower based pizza. It's not a pizza, obviously.
It's
That's
not
not a
pizza.
that's not pizza, that's a scam. So so it's like I wanted to do it as good as possible, you know, as close to the real thing, you know, as possible. So yeah, it's just like serving your community, see like getting personal with your community, or just getting that, you know, relationship, and staying consistent and posting on social media as much as possible. It doesn't have to be perfect, it doesn't have to be a professional photo.
Mm.
Actually, from the moment we started posting more professional stuff, like our engagement dropped, you know, because it's just like it feels more official. Like people don't engage with official stuff. I mean, nobody does.
Yeah. Yeah. Very true.
Remember the time you liked the photo of like like a brand posting I don't know, something that, okay, I mean, you do support a lot of brands, so this is very cute. But like me, if I remember the last time I, other than like makeup or anything, like a brand, any brand, like a restaurant, for example, what's your favorite restaurant?
Uh, I don't know. I like sushi, so any sushi place, I guess.
Did you ever like engage with them on social media?
No,
Yeah.
not
Did you ever
really.
like one of their posts or anything? Like,
No.
no, even though it's your favorite place. But like, who's your favorite creator, for example, or favorite person on the internet?
I always engage with them and I'm liking their pictures and
Exactly.
I'm like, yeah. Yeah,
Exactly.
that
Makes a
is
huge difference.
oh, absolutely. And I feel like also there's a really cool point of it's kind of like a double-edged sword when you're a personality because if a lot of the times there are content creators, it doesn't matter if they're doing makeup or like sports or cars or whatever. A lot of the times these people have a lot of followers because of their personality. So, okay, we see that you're doing makeup, for example, and I like that, but I'm here for you. So if you like focus on that and you focus on the essence of who you are and your personality, and you really not coin, but like you really use that to your advantage and let that translate to a business. Because I think, like you just said, people don't engage with formal, people don't engage with like official, people engage with you. They came here for you. So when they see that this new thing is so intrinsically connected to who you are, you, the value of what they're being presented, then that I think you're right. It's gonna have huge success.
Yeah, I feel like that's my community on Instagram as well, like people just like go with my flow. Like they're not there for like, I mean, they do appreciate my makeup skill. They do like believe in my suggestions, because obviously like they know I have access to every product in the world that comes, and I try and I see, and I'm like even like went to school for that. So like, I do have the experience and everything, but they're not following me because of my makeup. I know that. I mean, someone asked me like, what is your audience? Like, are you an influencer or are you a content creator? So like, even though I don't necessarily like the word influencer, I feel like I'm more
Me
into
neither.
that. I feel like I'm more into that frame than the content creator, because content creators are more kind of professional. You know what I
Like
mean? Like,
work oriented.
yeah, like I know so many like makeup accounts that they're so great. Their videos are like high quality, like they're beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous, like literally everything is on point. But then you see their comments are like 10, 15, no
Yes.
engagement, because
Yes.
they're not, it's like it's about the makeup there, it's they're content creators. They put out so much content like every like, few days and everything, but there is no personality, as you said.
Of course, of course. But there are pages out there where people go for just the content. So there are pages that I follow that is strictly makeup. There is a person behind it, and sometimes that person shows herself and like talks about her life just very briefly. But a lot of the times, and this is no shade to her, but like I don't really interact with that type of content as much as it is like the makeup and the beauty part of that page. So there are pages where people are just like very like category oriented or niche oriented, whereas there are others, it's the personality, is you're the star.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Foxy, I want to say a huge thank you for like taking the time to like be on the podcast with me. This means so much to me. Tell people where they can find you and what's your handle.
My handle is i.am.foxxy with i.m.foxxy double xy everywhere.
Everywhere. She's on Instagram and she's on TikTok, and
Yeah.
Halloween is coming. And I know that Foxy, you are a genius when it comes to Halloween looks. You kill it always. So I'm really excited to see what you have cooking up. Can you give us like a sneak peek? Are you gonna do like mommy son combos?
Yeah, I was gonna tell you definitely part two this year again, because that was like the cutest thing I've ever done. Really, that was like my favorite.
Adorable. Adorable. The Scooby-Doo one, this when you're
Yeah,
Velma and he's adorable. Adorable.
it was just too cute. So this year I'm gonna go for other combos and let's see how it turned out. But definitely I'm gonna take a lot of time this year for Halloween to create like some of my creative looks again, because I don't usually get the time anymore. I mean, it literally takes 6 to 9 hours sometimes. So
Yes.
it's like I I mean, I'm a mom. But for Halloween, I'm gonna sacrifice my sleep. And I plan that this year, really, I'm gonna push myself to do a lot of creative makeup for Halloween. Even though I sacrifice my sleep, it does bring me so much like joy. It's really,
Of
I love
course.
doing that.
Of course, of
Yeah.
course. Of course. When you spend a lot of hours on a video and then you watch it and it turns like exactly how you want it, it's just like that joy and that satisfaction. You're just like, ugh, it was worth losing sleep.
Yes. How many times did you rewatch it?
And you find yourself hyping yourself up and rewatching and rewatching and rewatching.
Always.
Thank you to my beautiful guest, Foxy.
Thank you so much for having me. It was I miss you so much. It was a pleasure to see you, even though online only, but hopefully soon in Dubai.
Of course, inshallah, very soon. And thank you to everyone who's listening or watching. And feel free to follow the podcast wherever you're enjoying it. And I will see you next episode.